This is it. We're exactly at the decision point. In several hours, once FOMC is done, we'll know what will be happening next to the markets, specifically to crypto market. I have to share my speculation at this stage, tell you what I'm doing myself, because I can tell you what you are doing yourself. You are selling. I can see it in the charts. Today, I will share the scenario for crypto market and altcoins in the upcoming couple of weeks. We'll go through the current sentiment, things that are happening on the marketplace, and what to do to survive and capitalize. And are we finally going to see Ethereum performing and our long-awaited alt season, right? Press the like button if you like, see me smiling, and let's start. There are a range of people on the marketplace currently calling for both bottom and tops, and the main thing is what we are seeing in the charts. What we're seeing in the charts is that people are capitulating like crazy. They are selling like crazy. A lot of probably are expecting bear market from here. We'll discuss this today. Bitcoin sweeping the low leverage, low liquidity levels while crossing below the 100K mark. The next liquidity levels are marked on the chart. Liquidity sweep essentially is somewhere around 101. Yeah, we're probably just better off checking out Bitcoin liquidation heat map, right? I think it will give us a very nice overview on the situation that is happening on the marketplace from the market maker's point of view. Although I don't believe that this is something that we should be watching closely currently, because liquidation map, it works very nicely when nothing is happening on the marketplace. For example, back in August and in September, I was predicting each and every market move with 100% accuracy, just based on the liquidation map. Why? Because nothing was happening. All the market makers were doing, they were just swiping the liquidity. They were just farming liquidity from all the degenerates that wanted to gamble on leverage, right? Right now, I do believe it's a bit different, because we're definitely due some proper movements on this market. This is something I'm expecting. What we're seeing currently is that we have a bunch of short leverage opened above $103,000 and not so many longs. Like, even if we drop like heavily, I don't believe they will be making much money, which is a very nice situation, because what you want to see is one less incentive for the market makers to dump this thing. Like, we are definitely not seeing a lot of, I would say that in leverage, in total, leverage is not present on the marketplace at this stage. Altcoins with the highest short positions, liquidations could happen at any moment. This thing is very interesting. This is a very nice piece of statistics that I essentially found and I wanted to share with you. Altcoins with the maximum short leverage opened. What does it mean? It means that short squeezes might be coming for these things. Means that they essentially beach balls underwater, like a certain price up, movement of the price going higher, and we might be seeing short liquidations out there. Cardano. I've actually seen Alex Becker, I think a couple days ago, saying that he is buying Cardano at this stage, which is very interesting. Definitely a cult, and I do believe that the market expects ADA to perform after XRP had a run, right? I do believe it's natural at this stage, to be honest. And I kind of feel like, yeah, like things that will be running are the things that most people are not aware of in the first place, or they don't believe that they can run at all. Like, this is it. AXBT, major liquidations if the price returns to 0.85. Yeah, I also agree on this. I think AXBT is becoming kind of this paid type of bot. And my thesis, guys, I've been sharing this thesis for several months at least. The second AI agents essentially appear in the marketplace. I told you, yeah, this is a new technology. This is great, but it's not like life-changing. It's not going to run for like forever, because you are underestimating the fish-brain focus of human brain at this stage. With TikTok, with the introduction of shorts on YouTube, we are different at this stage. We're different psychologically at this stage currently. And people, they will just get tired. Yeah, XBT is sharing something, but with each and every share, with each and every post, they are receiving less and less views, less and less liquidity is coming to AXBT peaks, because people are seeing that oftentimes they just become an exit liquidity for the previous holders. And AXBT shield is often a top for certain assets out there. I'm also talking about some meme coins on Solana. BNB, over 1 billion in predominantly short positions. Yeah, I do believe that BNB is actually going to have a run. I've said this couple months ago as well, that I do think BNB will be having a run along with Ethereum. Having a run. And CZ is definitely doing some things. He's trying to do some stuff with meme coins. He's trying to do some stuff with AI as well. So he's at least like tapping into the meta. Although like he was not talking very nicely about memes, I think it's an issue, right? I think it's a huge mistake because BNB pretty much lost altcoin market since the previous cycle. No one is building on BNB currently, and last cycle, believe me, everyone was building on BNB. Each and every project, they were building on BNB. So right now the situation is a bit different. The way for them to retake the market share would be to establish a better meme coin casino and maybe like create some billion-dollar runners, right? Right now this is not happening. Maybe they have something planned. There are definitely some talks on the streets, right? DOT, similar to ADA, right? Ethereum, yeah, 100% I do believe Ethereum we will run it in the upcoming several weeks. MKR, I don't know this. Altcoin, Pepe, contrary to the opinion of, because like it's such a consensus at this stage, like everyone is bullish on Pepe. We were like 1.5 years ago when it was a $300 million market cap in the trenches. Like I do think it's going to perform, but it's heavily going to underperform expectations of people out there. Pepe better plays, they're the ones that are being jitted heavily, and they're the ones that will truly show great percentage of our performance. Sui, this one is interesting because I do think that it's not going to perform well in the next leg up, although I started to see some opinions on the marketplace that people started to share like, well, I'm selling Sui because I also don't think it's not going to do well. And like when I start to hear things like this from the marketplace, I become quite cautious, right? But generally, from my point of view, it would make sense for Sui not to outperform in the upcoming leg up and continued outperformance since the end of summer till the end of the 2025, the year, right? But I'm not expecting it to do very, very well in upcoming 3 to 4 months in comparison to other assets available on the marketplace, mainly assets from Ethereum ecosystem. TON, many shorts clustered near $6. This pattern is one of the most promising. TON is quite an interesting one because it usually moves not with the market, mainly because the main market for TON is not in the US. It's like Eastern Europe, maybe like Asia a bit, right? They have like, they're controlling 90% plus of the supply with Russian mafia folks out there, right? So this one, I think people just tired of holding this one, right? Because everyone was screaming about TON and it's like, yeah, like this one is hard. Last year, it performed closer to the April, May when everything else essentially dumped already. So we might expect, just based on the time estimates, performance around the same level. XLM, better play to XRP, not looking from it to outperform heavily. Virtual, some people are actually quite bullish on Virtual with the transition on Solana. So some good people like whales on this marketplace. It's hard. It's either it's dead and not going to come back at all, or we're going to have a second leg up of AI agents, which would be like absolutely nuts, and Virtual will go up as well. But at the same time, what we have to understand is that we kind of had our wave 3 for Virtuals that showed the largest percentage gain, and even next leg up, like max, it's providing 5-7x on the market cap of Virtuals out there. So VCs and early insiders would be the ones who would really be making money. Use a market participant without an edge, you probably won't. Uniswap, yeah, should be showing something. Quite nice post because it actually it's based on real data. Obviously he's not providing a bunch of facts about like these things and why they might be short squeezing, but nice from point of view that this post is really based on real metrics. And the only real metric in crypto is crypto fund rate, because it shows how people are actually voting with the wallets, not with the mouse, not with the like, I don't know, you tell me, right? BTC, so I wanted to make a dirty joke, but I decided not to. Let me know in the comments if you like actually more dirty jokes from me, because I used to make fun of some things and now I'm definitely doing it less. After the channel got kind of shadow banned after one of the jokes. Bitcoin saw a notable decline, but retail traders remain heavily skewed toward long positions. At present, 62.08% of retail accounts hold long positions on BTC, up from 48.88 just 24 hours ago. In essence, retail is trying to catch the bottom. This one is, yeah, the only thing nice about this part is that this is the post from 2 days ago, so maybe people are liquidated because BTC was larger. But I would say that this post is quite cautious, like you should be quite cautious about this thing. Other posts I actually have seen is that if you're a market participant who was just present in BTC and stocks, everything is fine for you. Nothing is crashing, everything is alright. If you were in alts, in crypto alts, like you are decimated most likely, especially if you pick the wrong alts in the first place, right? Like further drop on larger assets, if you were holding BTC through all this time, it's fine for you. Like you're up 5-6x, it's fine. Like 10-20% drop, you will not even feel it. But imagine what will be happening with alts, right? Although I kind of have a feeling that even if BTC drops like nicely from here, like even if we're seeing a larger drop, we finally might be seeing certain reposition from alts. Because if it drops like 10-20% from here and alts drop even more, alts are definitely dead at that stage. Like to me, it would probably show that there is no incentive and it's not planned for the market makers and insiders on this market to ever pump altcoins. Because essentially what it would mean is that they would give the prices that are just too cheap for default market participants. They will give the prices that are way below the prices of the VCs. This would mean that they would just shorten the whole thing through the whole time dumping the supply. This is what this thing would essentially mean, with retail market participants just longing and essentially these guys just making money off them. Classic type of thing, 10% of people making 90% of the money and making 90% of people poor on this market. Chill. GMI Bitcoin Cycle Top Finder, CTF. This graph just shows that we are way, we are at a huge distance in comparison to Bitcoin top. Like it's not here at this stage. Feels like 2017 vibes. I told you back in December, a couple months ago, that this cycle looks like 2017. I told it the first, actually. I think after me, people in the market started to mention it more and more. Stock Money Lizards 2017. We can see it right here. And yeah, you can also see on this chart, I will make it bigger, that we were in the correction through this time, right? Exactly the one that we experienced in here. Or you can even argue that based on this chart, the correction should even become slightly bigger from this point. And like my overview is actually we are due for a relief bounce. I do think it will come with the decision of FOMC, but I'm expecting from February to open up red. I'm expecting from February to kind of update the lows of January, which will be essentially the movement to 96.5k BTC. Only thing I don't like is that a lot of people are talking about this target as well, right? And a lot of people are prepared because like these assets recently they get decimated. Look at meme coins on Solana, absolutely nuts. Every Bitcoin correction post all-time highs feels like the sky is falling, but data shows everything is right on track. The RSI Bollinger Band percentage phases gave us the fourth cross of the 0.99% value line in November, which is the all-time high break. Next up, the fifth cross. I don't like mention these things too much because it's just like focusing on certain metrics that are showing like and try to predict outcomes. Like there are just too many variables out there. I think things should be way more simpler because the more complex you're trying to make them, the more complexity you introduce. And then you are just ending up in a situation where there is infinity of factors, infinity of variables, and you will never be able to come with a proper result out of this type of analysis. That's why like lately I just switched to just time basis. Like last year, we were correcting here. I would start being worried about the market if in 2 weeks Ethereum does not show anything and altcoins are not show anything. Then yeah, it's off, something is wrong. Right now, my goal is just to survive through this dip, right? Ideally, catch some longs once we have the confirmation of the reversal out there. That may make it seem like it's coming soon, but fourth and fifth crossings have been between 45 and 51 weeks apart, which is September, October 2025. Every phase we have seen so far this cycle has come exactly where you would expect it to. If you can learn to stay away from the mind games, everything becomes much more simple. It's kind of like the author also offering the simplification of the view on the market. And yeah, I definitely do think that we should all just simplify things. And as mentioned, the more complexity you're trying to introduce, the more complex it becomes. You're trapped in the infinity of variables, and then you can just not come to outcomes. The goal is just to survive and be fine in any type of outcome, and risk more or risk less based on the confirmations that you see in the charts and you see in the market. A more detailed look at the Bitcoin versus Nvidia chart. This one is quite interesting because historically, on top we have the pair of BTC to Nvidia, which means that this pair, if BTC is outperforming, this pair is going up. If Nvidia is outperforming, this pair is going down, right? What we can also see the correlation is that usually at the bottoms of the pair, at the bottoms of this range, right after BTC was essentially surging higher, right? And this is the correlation that we see following this chart, and this is exactly something that's happening currently. BTC is underperforming heavily. It's at the bottom of the range at this stage in comparison to Nvidia currently, and we essentially expect the expansion right now, right? And it's also interesting that like this chart is from 17 and 2020 year, so it's like quite a nice piece of data crypto-wise, because in crypto overall we don't have much data because the market is quite new, right? But yeah, this one is bullish at this stage. But you have to understand this, it might be like midterm bullish, and it might not say like we still might be seeing like a crazy short-term correction, right? It just tells us about short-term, midterm. Retail interest in Bitcoin dying off. So this one I do believe should be like one of your most alpha metrics, because funding rates, they're a bit weird currently. Like in a way they're like masking them, or people just tired from the market, they're just not leveraged long in at all because everyone is just getting liquidated, right? So they're just a bit weird to understand the situation. It's not that simple. This thing is very, very simple and shows very, very nice outcomes. Retail interest in Bitcoin dying off, almost as low as May 2021. Retail capitulation on Bitcoin. Bitcoin retail investor volume 0 to 10K by USD, demand 30-day change. So we can see that we are exactly at the bottoms currently. And previous times when we would touch on these type of bottoms, we were rallying back after, right? Probably you can see it by the amount of views on different channels, amount of people active in this space. It's like there is a cohort of people that made money on Trump, or just cohort of influencers that are trying to scam everyone on Solana coins and they're launching them, right? And there are definitely different parties out there who are doing that. And yeah, out of like random market participants, out of tourists, there are not a lot of them currently at this stage. The buying pressure has returned strongly in Bitcoin. This is something that we're essentially seeing. Also quite nice chart that the buy pressure is coming back to BTC. We'll see how this will be playing out. And a bit of the bearish shot from Benjamin Cohen. Interestingly, the early 2017 correction took BTC back down to the 2016 high. If 2025 is like 2017, then maybe it retests the 2024 high around $73,000. So I'm not expecting this type of a move, mainly because asset is just way more heavy at this stage. I'd also think if we did not have BTC ETF at this stage, we'll probably be like around $40,000-$45,000 currently. That's why I'm thinking that we should be having crazy alt season. So it's like two questions to this thing, 2 points, right? From one point of view, we should be having a crazy alt season, mainly because people that will be repositioning from BTC into alts, they have much more expensive Bitcoin to sell, to reposition to alts, which means that once this flood of liquidity is going to open, it will be just crazy. People are saying it's not going to happen. I think they're nuts, because it's about the opportunity. It's about how lucrative the opportunity is. If your family member is dying, right, you will be selling your house, you will be doing some things, like depending on how much you love this family member, right? You just want him to leave some money for yourself and you won't care, right? But overall, you will be like selling your houses, you will be trying to find opportunities, you will be working your ass off, right? This is the same thing. Once the opportunity is lucrative enough, that's why I'm saying, like in sales, if you have infinite amount of chances to get on the call with a lead, with a prospect, you will close him. You will, even if the guy has zero money, he will sell his house. Like you will find a way on infinite amount of calls. So he is selling his house and buying your product, buying your service, believing it's the best thing in the world, even if he has zero money at this stage. Like he's going out there and doing something to other people, like robbing people to actually be able to work with you. If you have infinite chances on the call, right? This is about how lucrative the opportunity is in the first place, from my point of view, right? So I'm not expecting this type of drop, right? But what we have to focus is that it got 240K views, which means that to a certain extent, it's a consensus, and we definitely can see this in the chart as well. People are definitely preparing for this one, especially in alts. And alts, I would say they show the best what default market participants are essentially doing. They also kind of show the best what VCs are doing. They're just receiving free bags, they're shorting and dumping, right? Alts are also quite nice in that. So it also got 2.4K likes, which is 1%, I think. It's not much into comparison on views, but I don't think I'm sure 100% what is the correlation there between the likes on X to the views on X. Here are some bullish takes on alts. Whales are more interested in longs than retail in Link, Litecoin, VET, as Lido, US, DEX. So bunch of Fartcoin actually as well, quite interesting. Morphar, ACH, among others. They're likely to become very volatile soon. Very, very interesting piece of data, which actually got like not so many views, which means that it's probably alpha. A lot of leverage on Ethereum is vulnerable below 3K. 2200, 2500 seems reasonable. So this guy was calling for 40k in August, and yeah, like he was often bearish when there was no reason to be bearish, right? I think that maybe this leverage is already been closed, or will get closed just by people closing it themselves, right? Because they will just become tired, afraid. I think market makers are using different strategy this time. Ethereum will easily 5x from here. Well, I actually tend to agree with this one, right? Crazy. 15k, I actually tend to agree. We should be seeing 15k Ethereum from my point of view. Maybe actually as soon as this year. Ethereum is on the verge of something big, and the excitement is palpable. I'm seeing this word first time in my life. Buckle up, because this could be a turning point. Ethereum 2025, blow off top, 100, and yeah, I actually do love these time estimates as well, guys. Time estimates are alpha, like largest whales, they are just looking at time estimates in the first place. 1160 days, 1160 days as well. So the speculation from this author is that we're essentially at this expansion point. We should be expanding higher from here. Ethereum is about to go parabolic, reversed head and shoulders. We should be completing the right shoulder and reversing from there. I do believe that like it's almost like a consensus that there should be a pump on Ethereum from the market, from like certain people, but at the same time, most people, they're just still quite bearish. They don't understand like anything. They're sitting in their Solana stuff, right? The real question here is if we are going to get like a last one dip before the last one dip, right? Because yeah, this is something that's important. While Trump again bought $10 million worth of Ethereum in the last 2 hours, he keeps buying on LFG. So I think he should have more than $200 million in Ethereum at this stage, which is quite nice. Like if the market cap of the Ethereum is 400 billion and the ratio is the same as meme coins, it's close to 0.5, I think, of the whole supply of Ethereum out there, which is definitely quite nice if you would ask me. And now I come into the list of altcoins that you probably would want me to talk about, right? First one is WIF. I've seen this thing yesterday. It was absolutely nuts. I actually, like, for some reason, I have a memory in my head that it was like at 700 million or something. But it just went slightly below billion and it got a reaction. But it's not like a strong reaction from here. Like, I won't say that like it's a reversal at this stage. It more looks like relief bounce, and I do believe that most of the assets, they should be receiving this type of bounce. Maybe just this one received it the first, right? And we've hit it in slowest sentiment so far. This fear has a lot of work to do. I don't think you all fully understand how everyone is on the same accord to pump WIF to ludicrous levels. First organic meme on sold to billions, originator of meme coin supercycle, thesis pre-pump fund, Bonk was that, and Godbit team. They were the ones that started meme season on Solana. So Ansem actually had an option to combine his cabal and lure a bunch of people on WIF so they can farm tens of millions of dollars. Listed on Robinhood, Coinbase, and all other major exchanges. Yeah, very nice. WIF poverty pattern completed. Incredible work. Yeah, McDonald's. It's quite funny, right? WIF started the meme cycle, and the sphere appearance could be the final. One last blow of top. Viva la Vegas. Yeah, the guy is always bearish at the bottoms. Like I've seen him in this summer, right? Despite the fact he's actually, I think, one of the private investors into Blast. So yeah, hard to say anything on this chart. Like what I would want to see is probably like some sideways consolidation with an uptrend. This would be healthy, right? With eventual like just sideways strong consolidation with an uptrend. This is something I would essentially be expecting. From WIF. How to say anything from the meme point of view? Like people will be buying this as a Solana beta. Solana historically is not very bullish in the common. It's interesting that people started to bid at 80% deep. Like 80% deep seemed to be like this crazy number, right? People just started to bid at 80% deep. Solana is not very bullish in upcoming couple of months. Ethereum is usually bullish in upcoming couple of months. Ethereum is usually outperforming heavily during this time. Solana did, I think, like from $150 to 250 last year through this time, which still probably percentage-wise was more than Ethereum during this time, but maybe it will be different in the upcoming couple of months. Last but not least is Litecoin. This one is quite interesting because it's like neglected on the marketplace in a similar way that XRP is. And shorts on Cardano definitely telling me like, and Becker buying ADA is very, very interesting as well. Like the guy definitely has some insights, like I'm sure, about this one. Break, investment firm Canary Capital files for Litecoin spot ETF. No one cares about these ETFs anymore. It's interesting. Like probably from the time that Ethereum ETF started and everyone expected inflows and nothing happened. Billion from stock market will flow into this Bitcoin and other ETFs. 2025 is going to be massive. Within the last 365 days, Grayscale acquired around 560,000 LTC. In the same time, 1.3 million were mined. So this one is very interesting because Grayscale, when ETFs are opened for certain crypto assets, what they're doing is they're essentially selling all of the supplies that they had because the people were acquiring them in a discount. So essentially there's free money for them in the first place. So they might actually know that the ETF is coming, that ETF is very highly likely to be approved. And these are just free money for them, right? Free money. A single entity is buying up almost 50% of the newly minted Litecoin for the last year. Things are heating up. With 8.1 million addresses and over 350k daily active addresses on average, Litecoin sits above many other layer 1s like Cardano and Avalanche in terms of user engagement. It's definitely being used as like a currency at this stage. Like in ATMs, you actually can use Litecoin in order to put money on a card or transfer some money from fiat to Litecoin and vice versa, right? Litecoin number 2 on all ATMs worldwide. Litecoin is winning the ground game too. Yeah, we should not be neglecting the asset that is like that popular in the default transactions because many people are probably actually using it. Retail, yeah, this is just the chart that shows that a bunch of people from retail, they're holding Litecoin. So I do believe that community might be similar to XRP, just XRP is a bit more cultish, right? So guys, this is the overview at this stage for the market. Understood everything you wanted to understand, my view as well. The main goal is to survive, and entering certain longs currently should essentially do very, very well. Even if we're seeing a correction, which I don't think we're seeing a larger correction from here, we're definitely due a relief bounce. I don't think that alts will be dropping much. But red February open is going to be very, very interesting, and it's also going to be in sync with the situation that exactly happened last year on Ethereum before it rallied 80% in 30 to 40 days right after, right? Thank you very much for watching. Stay healthy and rich, and I will be seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.